Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about Visit to the Unknown from Tensei Shitara Slime Talk, and so without any ado let's begin. Visit to the Unknown, 01 Different Gate Part 2. There were more important matters to deal with now. What a predicament. Not only is there no energy, but the oxygen is also very thin. And there are places with some very serious pollution too. Are you serious? Now that I think of it, it is quite cold. And dark. Ramirez now noticed it as well. The sky was covered in thick clouds, covering the sunlight. Because of this, the temperature on the ground was near freezing point. While they did not require oxygen and had a resistance to toxins, it still did not feel very nice. Besides, hey? What if there are no people here, or life of any kind? I was looking forward to communicating with different cultures, but it doesn't look likely. Ramirez muttered with disappointment. There was no point in coming to other worlds if there was no life there. Still, it was possible they had just landed in a bad location, and she had not abandoned all hope just yet. This is really bad. This world is a miss. There are hits and misses with worlds. Beretta asked. Why wouldn't there be? Exactly. I told you. We came to look at other world cultures and try to search for something interesting. I see. Beretta was satisfied. This place was polluted and the temperature was near the freezing point. There wasn't much hope of there being intelligent life here, and so Feldera and Ramirez's wish was not likely to come true. I understand what they mean by miss, however, to run such an operation alone and in secret. Perhaps they just wanted to discover a new civilization first and brag about it to Lord Rimuru. Even as Beretta thought about this with exasperation, Feldera and Ramirez were having a conversation. Oh, I hate this. The cold aside, there isn't much spirit power here, which is weakening me. Besides, it's dark and all you can see in the distance is wild flatlands. It's, you know, like those planets Rimuru knew about. Like Mars. Oh, you know a lot, Ramirez. I was actually thinking the same thing. Right. Right. Judging from how polluted this place is, maybe there was a nuclear war here. Oh. Very impressive, Master. You sure know a lot. Ha 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 ha. Oh, you are exactly right about that. Feldera and Ramirez continued their carefree conversation. As he listened to them, Beretta started to feel like it was stupid for him to think about this problem alone. Still, there were certain things he needed to ask them. And so he waited for them to calm down before asking Feldera. So, Lord Feldera, do you think it is possible for us to return? Feldera took a long pause and closed his eyes to think. Ramirez was also very interested in his answer, and so she waited quietly. Install mobile app with offline browsing. In order to return, we will have to reopen the different gate that is 300 meters above our heads, or create a new one. If we do make a new come, we should have no trouble setting the coordinates due to being connected to Rimuru's soul corridor. Then Feldera stopped as if he wanted them to ponder this. In spite of appearances, Ramirez was a quick thinker, and she realized what it was Feldera was saying. I see. Even if we make a new gate, we can't get it to open without energy. Yes, exactly. Regardless of what we do, we need energy. And so I think the quickest method would be to release my aura and fill the ground with energy. What do you think? Ramirez nodded as if in agreement. Feldera was suggesting that he release his own aura. He had judged that with the immense amount of energy stored in his body, he could fill this world up with energy. Oh. Good thinking, Master. I know that you have a shocking amount of energy inside of you. I see. It may be possible if you do it, Lord Feldera. However, won't it be a problem if you just go around changing the laws of this world like that? Unlike the carefree Ramirez, Beretta's observation was rather sharp. And it was this point exactly that had caused Feldera to hesitate. If Feldera released his energy, there was a high possibility that it could mess up the ecological system of this world. This would be a breach of the rules that Rimuru had set in place when going to other worlds. That being said, it would also be impossible for them to return without using a gate. Feldera's space transfer would not let him travel to other worlds. Well, if it's just me, I could just use Rimuru's simultaneous existence and return by being born again over there. So it's no problem if I die here. What? But doesn't that mean only you can return? Is that so bad? Of course it is. Ramirez was furious. Feldera wasn't actually serious, but this suggestion was quickly dismissed. Well, of course, it was. However, creating a new different gate will take a long time. I can prepare the necessary minerals, but I don't have enough of the other magic materials I would need. And if I had to start from scratch, well, who knows how long it would take. Yes. It took years just to make the prototype. Beretta said nonchalantly, which caused Ramiris to hold her head in frustration. In fact, there had been quite a few mishaps back when they were still testing it. And as they had no facility here, it was not very realistic for them to create an entirely new gate. It wasn't impossible, but it was exhausting just thinking about it. Right? And that's why I think it would be the quickest to just reactivate that thing. Yes. If that's the case, we should have used a system that required you to infuse it with energy directly, and not have it gathered from the air. Not only that, the storage type required extra magic circuits, which was a huge bother. Yes. That's true. Then Beretta said as if suddenly remembering something. Wait a minute. We don't need to panic. As the soul corridor is still connected, won't Lord Remura notice our absence and call us back? However, Feldera and Ramiris's reaction upon hearing those words. Ha! Oh, Beretta, you really don't understand anything. We don't want that to happen. That's why we are trying so hard to think of a solution. So true. Don't you see? Remura will be angry if he finds out about what we've been doing. And you are just as guilty. Remura won't return until a week at the earliest, and so we have to return and destroy the evidence before then. And so they completely rejected Beretta's suggestion. Still, it was incredibly simple and easy for him to understand. Basically, they were frantic because they did not want to be scolded. Once he knew this, Beretta did not argue back. And so he quietly tried to think of what would be the best way to return. At this point, Beretta was fully implicated. Perhaps he was just too soft-hearted. And so quite some time passed after that. And then finally, all three of them looked into each other's faces, but none of them had a good idea. Well then, does that mean we can go with my idea? Then we can just move along. There were no signs of intelligent life in this world. So there was no point in staying long. And it wasn't just Feldera who thought this, as Ramiris agreed with him. As for Beretta, he was just following orders now, and so had no reason to complain. He was a little worried that they might continue their experiments once they returned, but he would worry about that when the time came. Ramiris and Beretta showed their agreement, and so Feldera nodded. And then, just as he was about to release the aura he had been holding in, the thunderous sound of an immense explosion overwhelmed the ground's surface, and they saw a mushroom-shaped cloud in the distance. Oh. That is a sign of life, and it seems like they are fighting. Yes. Feldera and Ramiris looked at each other. They grinned and nodded. Our plan to return is temporarily on hold. Let's go and see what's happening. Understood, Master. I can't wait to see what they are like. The two of them laughed over their shared interest in spectating. Ramiris jumped onto Feldera's shoulders. And then the two of them, as if forgetting how depressed they had been a moment ago, began to move in the direction of the explosion. This master and apprentice were of one mind. And the abandoned Beretta sighed deeply before he started to run after them at full speed. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more content.